play the number one seed. So right now we got Western Conference standings. We got Nuggets at one, Grizzlies two, Kings three, Suns four, Clippers five, Warriors six, Thunder seven, the Mavericks eight, Timberwolves nine, and we got the Jazz at 10. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, we got where was it at?
Oh, this I can do a jersey swap.
Oh yeah, definitely good. But Eastern Conference standings, we got the Milwaukee Bucks at one, we got the Celtics at two, the 76ers at three, the Cavs at four, the Knicks five, the Nets six, Miami Heat seven, we got the Hawks at eight, the Raptors at nine, and the Bulls at 10. We gonna let Glenn do his jersey swap. Probably putting on a Sixers. Yeah, you got to put on the Sixers jersey, the vintage AI jersey. That's what we all know it to be. So, Glenn, right now, like I said, we got a lot of stuff going in basketball. I'm gonna give the floor to you. What is some news you got right now coming out of the NBA world?
Well, a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Obviously, it's revving up, and we knew the West was going to be even better because of the closeness of each team, and it's literally like you got the two top teams, and then everybody else is battling for like the third spot because it's that close in games. But yeah, no, I think it's each team is getting there. I know the East is starting to clinch up with the Bucks, Celtics, and my Sixers the other night or last night, all clinching their playoff spot. Only leaving the Cavs to clinch from here. They're going to be the next team too. They have a 4.5 game lead on the Knicks, who hold the 5 seed. The team that's going to surprise everybody. The Nets are still hanging around at the 6th
My
seed.
Nets.
Your Nets,
My
your
Nets.
Nets, of
Now,
course. Not surprising,
they're
Jay.
playing bad basketball as of late, but my Nets.
Well, led by Mikal Bridges, the man
Yes,
himself.
sir.
So yeah, I
Brooklyn
just put
Bridges,
up my
baby.
computer. Yeah,
Brooklyn
they're
Bridges.
balling. Brooklyn Bridges.
You got to get rid of Ben Simmons, but Brooklyn Bridges.
Ben Simmons disappointed everybody that had any ounce of faith in him whatsoever this year.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the East is not as entertaining, of course, as the West, but they've still got some two teams battling for that play-in spot in the Pacers and Wizards. Magic are 5 games back. They're almost eliminated, and the last two definitely are eliminated. Moving to the West, the Grizzlies hold the number 2 spot. The Nuggets, they're the number 1 seed. They're going to the conference finals, so that don't even matter. But
I don't know, man. They've been playing shaky as of late.
what did they lose a game or something? I know they're
Nah,
5-5 in the last 10, but I
they beat
mean,
my Brooklyn Nets.
they beat your Brooklyn Nets, yeah.
Yeah, there was a
Yeah.
highlight out of that game of Michael Porter Jr. dunking on Jokic. It was crazy. Yeah,
Dunked on his own teammate. That's how.
yeah.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, that's something you haven't seen before. But yeah, the next two Grizzlies and Kings are very good top tier. They get Ja back tonight, of course, and the Kings. Shouts out to the Kings. I
Light the
love it.
beam, man. Light the damn
Light
beam.
that beam.
Light the beam, baby.
Light it up without a doubt. Phoenix waiting for KD to return, still hanging around in the 4 seed, like you mentioned, and moving down to the play-in because you got a whole bunch of teams hanging around there. You got 5 teams battling. You got about let's do the math here. You got about like 8 teams battling for 2 guarantees and 4 possible spots.
Yeah.
So the 2 guarantees are the Clippers and the Warriors at the moment, but OKC is on their tail right away. I mean, you got Paul George. I was really leaning. I just looked up and I just did this, and that's kind of in evil. And I got to back up a little bit, so I'm not just haunting the podcast. But yeah. So Clippers just losing Paul George the other night are going to find themselves on an uphill climb now, and so the Warriors and Thunder could possibly overtake them. Your Dallas Mavs, you got a lot of teams. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You got connections to everybody, I say. Well, I mean, half like you mentioned earlier, you had so many relatives and friends and high school classmates that you play in the pros with. So,
Dallas. I
but
don't know what Dallas got going on. But then again, it's been
yeah,
because Luka's out. But yeah.
yeah. So they're hanging around at 500. They're half game behind the Warriors. Warriors did get their first road win for the first time in like what 27
like,
tries or
I
something.
think like, yeah, 1,000 drives they finally got a roll against the Rockets, who actually Rocket. It wasn't even a blowout game. It was kind of ridiculous.
Well, if you need to snap a streak, a losing streak of some sort, you should play the Rockets. That'll
Yeah,
get you right
but it's
on
kind of
track.
crazy though. The Rockets
But,
lost. That was their first loss in the last 4 games. They beat Boston when they had Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. They
mhm.
beat the Lakers obviously without Anthony Davis and LeBron, but I forgot who was the other team they beat. But yeah, so I mean they've been looking good in their last 4 games. But I mean again, no better time for the Warriors just to snap a horrible road stint than beating the team who was eliminated from playoff contention. So
Really good to really good to narrow that in. Beat the lottery team, first overall pick. Beat the Wembe or Victor Wembe or
sweepstakes.
Wembe.
I
Uh,
was call it Wabamba, so I don't know.
there we go. We're gonna butcher that name when he goes pro. You just know that it's gonna take us at least a half a season to figure that out. It's
We're
gonna
gonna need
be
Charles Barkley to give him a nickname so we can catch on to that because
perfect. Perfect.
meant like his name is we're not gonna. Nobody.
It's not. It's gonna take a while. But we learn he has to earn he has to earn his name known. Like nobody knew
Right.
Giannis's name when he came in. Now everybody can sing it from verbatim. So
Yeah.
you got to earn your name. That's actually clever. I mean, if you have a strange like a very long name people can't pronounce. If you get good enough, people will eventually learn it. So
Of
that's
course.
the true test because nobody could say Giannis I still can't say Giannis Antetokounmpo when he first came in the league. But
I know.
now that he's arguably the best player in the league, everybody can say it. But yeah, I one team I think everybody should keep a lookout for, and I'm gonna ask you, Jay, how scary they are now with the return of Karl Anthony Towns, formerly known as Cat. How scary or how much of a playoff push you think the Timberwolves are going to make, given the fact they're only one game back from a guaranteed playoff spot with that sixth seed? Do you see them still a playing team, or do you see them locking up that seed with the return of their big man, Karl Anthony Towns?
No, that's a great point. I mean, he's been missing from basketball for months now. He posted something basically saying, let the kid play. So he's definitely ready to come back. But looking at the Timberwolves and what they've accomplished, I mean, the fact that they've remained afloat without him, like I said, right now, technically, if the playoffs started today, if they lock up that ninth spot, they'll be playing Utah in their first playing game, and the winner of that game will obviously go on to play the loser of the 7-8, which is right now Thunder Mavs. So, me personally, again, looking at it, Timberwolves, they got a shot. One of the things that kind of makes these playoffs, well, in the Western Conference, so kind of interesting is that obviously it's an in stride thing. So when once team hit the playoffs, whichever team can really get in stride fastest and stay in it, obviously they're going to have a great playoffs. But I mean, when you look at what the Timberwolves have to offer, I mean, they got two bigs that not many people matchup wise. If you look at it on paper, can have a substantial answer for. Now, obviously, again, you're looking at Rudy Gobert. Nobody really believes in his offensive abilities that much, but I mean, he's coming back. He's coming around
I
these
believe
past
in Ben
couple games.
Simmons' offensive ability more than his.
I mean, no, he's definitely coming. He's coming around. He's having okay games, but I mean, him and Cat side by side, it hasn't worked yet. Many people believe that it won't work this season. Due to the lack of chemistry they were able to build, obviously with Cat's injury. But I mean, it could definitely pay dividends. I mean, no team really got too big, so I mean that'd be their strength. Obviously, with guard. I believe he's coming back off injury soon if he's not already back. Ant was out for a game or two as well. But getting Karl Anthony Towns back, really is going to be seeing exactly where he is and can these last 10 odd 9 games, get him playoff ready to make that play-in push if they can hold down a play-in spot. Um, but I feel like it's kind of crazy though. If you're looking at what the league had to offer, 6 through 11, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Like those teams are all like 2 games back of each other. You got the Warriors at 37 wins, 36 losses. You got the Lakers all the way in the 11th spot with 35 wins, 37 losses. So it's just 2 game difference within those teams. Obviously, you're looking at the
Even the
Warriors,
Pelicans.
who, yeah, even the Pelicans. The Pelicans are matter of fact, yeah, the Pelicans as well. I didn't even mention the Pelicans. So, you say when you look at, I mean, all of these teams, they're struggling right now. You got the Warriors who can't win a road game, and obviously Andrew Wiggins is still out. There is no timable amount of time that he will be back. You got the Thunder. I mean, the Thunder just got SGA back a couple games ago, so they should be okay. The Mavericks, obviously, Luka isn't back yet. You got the Timberwolves, who are obviously about to bring Cat back. You got the Jazz, who are really trying to tank, but they just somehow keep winning games. And you got the Lakers without LeBron. So I mean, looking at these 6 through 12, you know, it's going to be very very interesting to see exactly what teams can do. I'm more so interested in seeing which two teams are going to be out of it. Because like I said, when you look at it, you got Pelicans, Lakers, Jazz, Timberwolves, Mavericks, Thunder, Warriors. Looking at how these teams played this season, all of these teams got talent around them. So to see which two teams to be out of it even playing contention, it's going to be something to look at. But looking higher, I feel like the a story that's really developing into something great is the Kings. Many people don't believe they got defense. I am also one of those guys, but I mean their offensive firepower is just absolutely absurd. When you're looking at what De'Aaron Fox is able to accomplish, I believe he's like the most, and he's the best fourth quarter player in the league. Uh, I mean, he just had another game winner three the other night. I forgot who they played, but I mean, he's playing at a high level. I like what Malik Monk brings off the bench, and I mean, looking at Sabonis, I mean, many people obviously when you talk about bigs in the league, you're looking at Giannis, you're looking at Jokic and Embiid, but what Sabonis is able to do is just sensational. I believe he got player Western Conference Player of the Week last week, notching a triple double. And I mean, just what he brings to that team is, just straight monumental. I still think that trade that happened between the Kings and the Pacers really benefited both teams. The Pacers got a young guard who they believe will be their future, and I believe as well. And the Kings got a big piece to a team that they could pair with De'Aaron Fox, and they mesh perfectly. So the Kings is something to look at. The Grizzlies, as you mentioned earlier, I mean the Grizzlies is a team that's getting Ja back 6 or 7 in their games without Ja. So I mean they've done their job as far as staying afloat without him.
That's
Um,
gonna that's gonna hurt
yeah.
his MVP case his entire life.
Oh yeah. I mean no. Honestly, he had to be fair,
That and
he
the
had an
guns.
MVP case. Right. Yeah. He want to be a shooter literally. But nah. Yeah. So but yeah, he's coming back. Excited to see what he does. He was in great spirits off the bench. Well, not off the bench, but when he was on the bench for the last game, he was in great spirits with his team, vibe with his team or whatever. So he's looking like John Morant, John Morant. But my team, and I got to go ahead and address this real quick because Glenn did mention it, and I do kind of looking at it now. You got a lot of teams. Um, the Mavericks, they they are my team, I guess.
If
I'm
somebody asked me who is Jay's team that he cheers for, I would say Mavericks.
But yeah, of course you got yeah.
Because you
I
cheer
don't
for
I
the
don't blame
Lakers
you.
because of Russ. So
But
once
see,
Russ
nah, but
left,
see,
you're not.
I'm about to mention the Clippers is my team because I mean with Russ and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a Russ. Okay, I'm a Russ guy. So I mean, it is wherever Russ goes. I like the Mavericks, but I'm just not a fan of like bringing. I'm not a fan of bringing Christian Wood off the bench. I really do like Christian Wood, but anyways, the Clippers obviously losing Paul George last night in a 100 and 1-on-1 loss to the Thunder, who are now in seventh because of that win. Uh, it hurt. It hurt massively. Looking at it, Kawhi's been playing great as of late, so hopefully he keep that up. What they have to offer, as far as defensively, it's a very, very good team. But just looking at it, man, I'm hoping that the Clippers can stay in that 5 spot. I don't want the Warriors to overtake that. I believe. Well, then again, I mean, whoever's six right now is going to play the Kings, which is third seed. So either the Clippers play the Suns, KD's return, or they play the Kings, I guess. So yeah, I don't really know. Okay, Glenn, I'm gonna ask you if you could see the playoffs right now.
Mhm.
Who would you rather play the Grizzlies? Who do you want to see in a first round matchup against the Grizzlies?
If I'm the Grizzlies or just as an NBA fan?
just as an NBA fan, if you're an NBA fan, who do you want the first? Because I mean, obviously Dylan Brooks.
Timberwolves.
You want to see them against the Timberwolves?
Timberwolves or the Warriors be
Yeah,
my two.
I was thinking the
But I don't
Warriors
think they
too.
could play the Warriors. Oh, no, yeah, the 2 seed, they probably could play the Warriors.
Yeah. They'll be playing the
Timberwolves would be
seventh
great to see
seed.
the matchup from last year, though. A repeat of
Yeah, the
last year.
matchup from last year. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I feel like when you look at it, um, okay, so you got them playing the Timberwolves. So who would you want to see play the Kings?
What do I want to see play the Kings? It would be cool to see like two teams that aren't in it often, like I feel like the Pelicans and the Jazz. Pelicans or Jazz versus the Kings would be like two kids going at it. You know, it's just
Yeah,
like everybody giving everything they got, 100% to the game. Same with OKC actually, because they're still a young team now. I feel like both of those squads. I like the young matchup going head to head
yeah,
because they're both relatively young teams. Don't have a lot of vets on their squads. So I think that would be my favorite two matchups for them for sure. Now that I saw the Warriors are in striking distance, that would also be a top one for the Grizzlies matchup that you mentioned. But Timberwolves were the first team that came to mind because they're in the play-in right away. But
yeah.
Warriors could fall down there too. So if not the Timberwolves, for the Grizzlies, give me the Warriors or the Timberwolves, and give me the Thunder, any of the Thunder, Jazz, or Pelicans for the Kings. My
The
first pick
Kings.
though would be the Thunder.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. I think that'd be great. Thunder versus Kings in the first round matchup. I believe that'd be something that I lean toward as
Just
well.
OKC playoff atmosphere is insane. And they
Yeah, I
go
mean, we're looking at
nuts.
what they got. I mean, again, Josh Giddey is amazing. Shea Gilgeous Alexander is just all the he right now he's a top 10 player in this league. So what they have to offer
They
against
got Holmgren on
another
the bench or hurt.
home, yeah,
He's
he's
hurt.
hurt. Yeah, so
I mean,
so I mean,
they're gonna be for real. If not this year,
right.
next year for sure.
Yeah. So like I say, looking at that, yeah. Going to the Eastern Conference real quick. I mean, everything on the Eastern Conference really is all but wrapped. For the most part, how I see it at least. I mean, um, obviously the Bucks won, Celtics 2, 76ers 3, Cavs 4. My Nets are still hanging on. We're still in it. And like just looking at the Eastern Conference records versus the Western Conference. Like I mentioned, 6 through 12 for the Western Conference is decided less than 2 games, 2 games or less. When you look at that here, and the 6 seed is the Nets. They're 39-33, so they're 6 games over 500. You look at the 11th seed here, 11th and the 12th seed. Looking at the Pacers and Wizards, they're 8 games under. So I mean, I just feel like that just really speaks to the level of competition in these conferences. But this one, my favorite probably would be the 76ers. I believe in what the 76ers can accomplish this season. Um, just looking at it, I mean, obviously 76ers and the Bucks. The Celtics really, in my eyes, played horrible ball as of late. I mean, just again, like I mentioned earlier, they lost to the Rockets. I mean, just not really being the team that you would have thought they would have been. That you would have thought they would have, even though they're only a game out of the first, 2 games behind the Bucks for the first seed. But yeah, they just haven't been playing great ball to me personally as of late. But yeah, the 76ers right now are my favorite to come out of out of the East. Um, I mean, only because of Joel Embiid and James Harden. Like I said, obviously James Harden has had struggles as of late. However, I do feel like those struggles won't be sustained. I feel like he'll be able to bounce back because he knows his rep. He knows his what he represents as far as playoff ball. Nothing good. So I mean, I feel like he's going to do his best to right his wrongs there. Um, a team that I'm surprised with out of the has something that you want to say real quick?
No, I was about to agree with you. I was gonna say
Oh, okay.
he's got ton to prove for this
Right.
postseason.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%.
Same
A
with
team
Harden too,
who
but
a team who oh yeah, a team who I'm surprised with out of the East. I would personally say it is right now the Bulls. Considering that, if you would have asked 3 months ago, the Pacers had all the momentum. Tyrese Halliburton was playing great. They were moving forward and he was just playing great ball. But now all of a sudden, ever since acquiring Patrick Beverly, yes, I did say it, Patrick Beverly. The Bulls have been playing great basketball. They played themselves back into the play-in. Right now, if the playoffs start today, they will be playing the Raptors in the 10-9 matchup. But the Bulls have definitely surprised me. But I mean, it's surprising, but not in a good way. Because I mean, you look at again, you got Vucevic, you got Zach LaVine, and you got DeMar DeRozan. So I mean, you would think those three guys are capable enough to be contenders in the East. But I mean, they have a disappointing season as a far. But if they continue playing the way they've been playing lately, playing these tough games, they'll be definitely in contention. And I wouldn't say a scary team, but they'll be a decent team in the Eastern Conference. But
Agreed.
yeah, just looking at
But they've been
conferences.
disappointing for years. The last
Oh
2
yeah,
years.
1,000%, 1,000%. And I mean also just something that's kind of crazy. They can't keep a point guard healthy to save their lives. Obviously,
Is
looking at
Lonzo still alive, or did he get shipped to like
Lonzo's
a Russian camp and they can't
right
say
now.
that?
From what they report, Lonzo is facing like career threatening. He's going to have to go through another surgery, and he's already out a majority of next season as well. So I mean, they can't keep a point guard healthy. But I mean, yeah, I guess I don't really know. But
We'll
yeah,
see. I mean, they're going to be an upset team for sure because of just the talent they got, and it just hasn't performed. So they're kind of those
yeah,
teams. Like if they can hang around while a star player's injured, but they're a lower seed, then the star player comes back for playoffs. But we'll see. It's going to be a great match. It's going to be a great push for sure. I want to see the Bulls in it though, because of just the players they got, like you mentioned, DeMar, Vucevic, Zach LaVine, all those guys, and the energy that Pat Bev brings. It's been a turnaround for them because their team is for them. I feel like it's such a quiet locker room. Nobody on that really squad is a big energy guy that would come to mind. I mean, they're all do their thing and go, but I feel like Bev brings that energy and lights that fire, which is what they need.
yeah, no, 1,000%. I mean, obviously, again, he's really played well for them since he's been there. I mean, I know he had one of his most recent games. He had like 14 straight points. It's kind of unheard of. So I mean, uh, great thing that they picked him up. Obviously, he's playing in his hometown. So he's playing more motivated.
He's from
But
Chicago.
yeah, he's from Chicago. But this all about almost wraps us up. I'm gonna do a quick thing with you real quick. We're gonna do rapid fire. I'm gonna ask you
Rapid
these
fire.
questions. You gotta answer it off the head. So, first question: do you think the Grizzlies will play better or worse with Ja coming back?
Better.
Okay. Do you want to see the Los Angeles Lakers in the playoffs?
No.
Okay. Joel Embiid, Giannis, Jokic. Who's right now your MVP winner?
Mine Jokic, but they're going to give it to Embiid. Embiid.
Okay.
Embiid.
Okay. So you got Embiid. So
Actually, yeah,
who's who?
Embiid. Embiid.
Okay.
Embiid
So who's
deserves it.
finishing third in the MVP vote?
Giannis.
Okay. Um, if the playoffs were over today and we're heading into the finals, what do you see the finals matchup being?
Nuggets, Bucks.
You got Nuggets, Bucks. Who you got winning that series?
Give me 7-7. Give me Bucks and 7.
So you're saying Bucks and 7?
Bucks and 7. They just got They got a lot more depth than Denver, and in the
Yeah.
playoffs, that's what you need.
Okay.
I want to
Nah,
say. I want to say Denver. I want to say Denver because
yeah.
I want Jokic to get a ring, but no,
But I mean,
I gotta be smart. Gotta go Bucks.
But to be very honest with you, though, it's very, very good. It's very smooth that you say Bucks. I mean, obviously, we're talking Giannis a lot, but Brook Lopez has played himself this past month and a half. He's played himself into very, very high remarks for Defensive Player of the Year. And he's also giving you a spark offensively. He had a 30-point game. I mean, he's very, very consistent. So I feel like stylistically, that'd be a problem for the Nuggets if they were to get into a matchup with those guys. Again, you're looking at Jokic. I mean, obviously, Aaron Gordon's he's an impactful defender. But I mean, the size and the talent around the Bucks. I mean, you're looking at Giannis, you're looking at Chris Middleton, you're looking at Brook Lopez, you're looking at they also added Jay Crowder. I mean, you're looking at Drew Holiday. You know, they got guys. So I mean, be a pretty deep thing.
Yeah.